What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Those people who have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more material. And also, should be back on live streams in the next couple days. So hopefully you will. Might actually do one today. So hopefully you can attend the live stream. And the best way to be notified of them is if you subscribe and hit the bell icon. Let's talk about Luis Ortiz. Actually is getting called out by somebody from the UK heavyweight. Shocker. Seeing as they usually run from this dude like the plague. But Joyce says he wants to make a statement by fighting Luis Ortiz. Gotta applaud that. Gotta applaud it. Good job. What he says specifically is, I'm ready for anything, so it'd be a good challenge to take on Ortiz. Hopefully we can make the fight. Okay, the 6'6", 250-pound Joyce, a silver medalist at the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, recently hired Abel Sanchez as his trainer and is now preparing for his fights at Sanchez's gym in Big Bear Lake, California. I don't know why he did that. He could have went somewhere else, got a little better work than over there. But in his most recent bout, Joyce knocked out Croatia's Bakarin in the first round, June 5th at York Hall in London. The 6'4", 240-pound Ortiz obviously is a huge step up from fighters like that, but the ambitious Joyce feels he doesn't have time to waste. He wants to test himself against a top heavyweight sooner rather than later. I like making statements, said Joyce, whose fourth professional fight was scheduled for 12 rounds. Like my debut was a 10-round main event, I won the British Commonwealth title in my fourth fight, so I'd like to break records and be the first to do things. That's what I want to do. Hopefully, I can get a world title. I can get to the world title in record time, too. The 39 Ortiz only has lost to WBC champ Deontay Wilder, the strong southpaw hurt Wilder badly in the 7th round of their March 3rd bout, but Wilder recovered, dropped Ortiz twice in the 10th round, and won by technical knockout at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I thought he did well against Wilder, Joyce said. I just think he ran out of gas, and that's when he got taken out. And I don't run out of gas. Well, correction, Joyce. He didn't just run out of gas. He got his head spun. But so let's not take anything away from Wilder, but I like the move. And that's a good sign for boxing. And it is very nice to see that there are UK heavyweights that see this path, the WBC path for the heavyweight championship, as a legitimate one. Right now, it seems to me as if you have with the titles that are held by Anthony Joshua, the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF, that those are, the same circle of fighters that are all, fighting for that and trying to get to Anthony Joshua and what they consider to be which is a big payday. But now you're having more people like Tyson Fury and Joyce seeing that, hey, there's a route to take over here with the WBC as well. Now, Dillian Whyte was trying to get that WBC belt as well, but he wouldn't do what Joyce is saying he's willing to do, which is get in there with Luis Ortiz. If Joyce can beat Luis Ortiz, I think that makes him definitely a good shot to fight Deontay Wilder. And I think that works for Deontay Wilder too, because Joyce is an up-and-coming, although he's older. I do believe he's 31 years old. So when he says that he's trying to push for these fights sooner than later, yeah, he is, because he's over 30 years old. It took him a long time to turn pro for whatever reason. I remember seeing him in the World Series of Boxing, losing to Alexander Usyk. To me, he's a big guy, but, I think he's going to be really hard pressed to beat Luis Ortiz. especially if he's getting trained by Abel Sanchez, because Abel Sanchez tries to get this dude to play Rock'em Sock'em Robot. He's going to get his jaw broke by King Kong. So, I mean, it is what it is. King Kong Ortiz can fight. And, you know, it is what it is with, and I love to see what happens with this fight. But this is encouraging. It's encouraging to see. And because I know how, my guy, you guys do not believe how many people from the UK, for some strange reason, accuse me of being a xenophobe. Like, I have something against fighters from the UK. And if this guy was an American fighter, I would like the guy more if he was an American fighter. If Anthony Joshua was an American fighter, I wouldn't be saying what I have to say about him ducking Deontay Wilder. And yes, I would. I can point to several American fighters that I say the same thing about. I said about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is American. Keith Thurman was avoiding Errol Spence Jr. like the plague. And he's not been fighting in the last 2 years, and he's going to need more warm-ups, tune-up fights, all that. People get on. If you're a champion and you're not taking on the toughest competition, it doesn't matter I don't care what country you're coming from. Unless you were somebody that I personally know, or you're a family member or if I'm friends with a family member, if there's a boxer who I know, if I know the father of a boxer, if I know the brother of a boxer, if I know the boxer, then yeah, I'm going to feel very inclined towards that fighter. But I don't know Deontay Wilder, and I don't know, and I'm definitely not going to feel but I don't have any reason to feel, just to go out of my way not to like somebody because they're from what country they're from. So this is good that you can talk about two UK fighters in a row that are talking about taking on very, very serious and difficult fights. That being Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder, and now Joyce talking up about against Luis Ortiz. Because I mean, I can almost tell when somebody is a newly avid boxing fan, right? a newly avid boxing fan, because they believe just ridiculousness. That Deontay Wilder's never fought anybody. Deontay Wilder's never done anything in his career. Luis Ortiz, he's never fought anybody. He looked bad against David Allen before he knocked him out. Like, that's what you hear about Luis Ortiz out of this, this excuse manufacturing organization they got going on over there. Luis Ortiz fought Malik Scott in 12 rounds, beat him, came back 3 weeks later and fought David Allen. 3 weeks later for a 36-year-old man. 3 weeks later he fought, and he took another fight. That was an Eddie Hearn setup. He wasn't supposed to look good. Well, I would be I got to do the research and find out why it is that why Luis Ortiz fought like he was a contender. Like he was, and actually, I don't even know guys that are 10-0, 8-0, 10-0 that are fighting 3 weeks. This ain't the 40s, this ain't the 1940s. But somehow, Eddie Hearn threw him right back in there against an up and coming David Allen, somebody that is a hard punch, can take a punch. But they threw Luis Ortiz in there in 3 weeks and then complained about the fact that he didn't look good. Con job. But anyway, it is what it is with that. Joyce is going to get the brakes beaten off of him by Luis Ortiz, though. I'm not impressed with Joyce much at all, other than the fact that he's very, very big, right? 6'6", 250-pound guy, Other than that, I can't say that I've watched him intensely. I just remember him losing to Alexander Usyk, who, by the way, I do believe also is in position now. Alexander Usyk is in position to be the WBO mandatory. That's what I saw in passing and moving. So I haven't, had time to read the article, but this is just, so if this is incorrect, somebody can correct me in the comment section. But my understanding is that now Alexander Usyk is going to be in line for a WBO mandatory shot. So, it's just all tied up and knotted up there. because of and I won't be surprised if Anthony Joshua winds up vacating one of those belts too. If an organization like maybe the IBF starts to get a little testy and say, nah, man, it's now time for you to defend this mandatory, because I don't think he's taken a mandatory for the IBF yet. I think I don't think he's done that. And IBF can get funny. Anyway, it is what it is. Shout out to Joe Joyce and Tyson Fury, the UK heavyweights that, want to come get this work. And I would suspect that it would be over in the United States, since Joe Joyce is fighting since he's training in Big Bear in California. I would suspect that this fight with Luis Ortiz, if it can be made, and I can't imagine that it wouldn't be made. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be made. And I think isn't he with David Haye? I think Derek Chisora isn't there. I think Derek Chisora is with. Yeah, he's with Matchroom, and Joe Joyce was trying to get a fight with Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora ain't trying to get in the ring with him for whatever reason, and so now Joe Joyce is going to try to go get Luis Ortiz. I like it, man. I like it a lot. And that if he beats Luis Ortiz, then hey, man, maybe you can get another big UK heavyweight to fight Deontay Wilder. People that keep talking about this Dominic Brazil thing, though, I don't think Dominic Brazil is going to happen for a while, because Dominic Brazil, is, as far as I know, is suing Deontay Wilder right now. So if somebody's suing you, you got to go to court. Why would you put yourself in a position to have to fight that guy? And I wouldn't be surprised at all if the WBA just holds off on that for, they could hold off on that thing for a century. That's the WBA and sanctioning bodies. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.